Here we are with the New Year's Day edition of Wings Weekly. You might see this on another day, of course, but that's when we're filming it. Head coach Scott Langer joining me as always, or as usual anyway. Coach, a weekend here at the ODI Center where, you know, again, a real strong weekend on Friday, a little bit of a letdown there on Saturday. You know, I talked about the Tale of Two Cities and Tale of two games, two nights a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or whatever. It kind of felt the same way. We talked a little bit on Saturday night about the team's performance on Friday. It seemed like a well-rounded performance, just overall. There was good goaltending, there was good defense, there was scoring from all over the place. And then on Saturday, it seemed a little flat. As a group, what do you think? What did you take away?
Well, specialty teams on Friday were the big boost, I think, in that game. With us being perfect on the penalty kill and getting two there on the power play. You know, especially after them scoring the first goal of the game and us being able to go up by one just on our first power play on a 5-on-3. So that allowed us to get out in front and kind of get the momentum steered towards us. And obviously, we had a really good second period. And once we got going, we were doing things really well offensively and really good goaltending by Dibes. You know, when they did press us, he was solid in that. And you know, Saturday it was probably one of our worst games in the last month and a half, and you know, it was. You know, it was going to happen eventually. You don't want it to happen, especially at home. But turnovers were. They were bad. They were really bad, and they cost us that hockey game. So we have to just refocus. We can't dwell on that game at all. Right. We just got to put it past us and continue to go back to work and put another streak together. And you know, we get to be together on the road for the next couple weeks, and you know, we've been pretty decent on the road.
Well, and I know that, you know, throughout the years you've always talked about, you know, having to put games behind you like that one that is sort of a letdown game, you know. But I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. Like, do you think that as you're watching it, there seemed to be like they were stretching the ice out, trying to make these long passes and stuff, and trying to almost force things to happen? When maybe a little frustration, when they, you know, does the team recognize? Do you as a coaching staff recognize that things are not working, and you start to kind of force an issue? Perhaps, you know, like. Do things that aren't usually done, because we haven't seen that.
Well, that's why we lost.
Yeah.
Once they start doing things that's not in our identity, we lose the game. We stick to our identity, we win the game, and that's exactly it. I mean, everybody could see it. We were doing things that we just don't do, things we don't work on, and as a coach, you have to try to figure out why that was. You know, maybe because we had success the night before, we thought we can get away with that, but we're not as fast as St. Cloud, we're not as skilled as St. Cloud, but we're a good hockey team and we stick to what we're good at, and we just got away from our game plan, and you know, now we need to reinforce it this week and be ready to go against North Iowa.
Yep, like you said, we'll move past that. You know, a split on the weekend, and you know, great crowds at the ODI Center, and I think everyone had a good time. You know, with the kids' candy toss afterwards and all those kinds of things that go on, and you know, group doing a great job. But again, a little bit of a letdown Saturday. You said it. We move past that. You've got to move past it. That's what you do. In years past, you've always told me that teams are built on the road. Early on in the season especially, do you feel like later on in the season that's still the case? Do you still feel like you can kind of grow as a group, you know, at the midway point, at the quarter mark?
I think so, because we've been at home. We've had a homestand here built in with our break. So, you know, now it's time we go and spend some time together, and you know, hey, we're going into a place that sent us on our spin. And you know, this is a team you can't take lightly. They're playing decent hockey right now. So we got to make sure we remember that this team sent us on that spin, and it was a hard spin. So we need to go in there ready to go, and we need to play good hockey against them, and we need to come out of there with points.
Well, and that segues nicely into what was going to be my next question, which was that, North Iowa obviously at the bottom of the standings right now with 14 points. Wings, sitting in 5th right now, and there's a cluster. They're in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spot and 5th spot, all pretty close. Minot starting to rack up some points and some wins, but North Iowa at the bottom. But that doesn't mean that they aren't dangerous, and they've proven that to the Aberdeen Wings. They've proven that to teams over the course of over the season so far. What do you feel like are some keys? What do you have to do? And you've seen obviously some film on these guys. You know what they do well and what they don't. What's going to be important?
Yeah, I think our goaltending is going to be really important with these 2 games on the road. And again, we just touched on it. Don't get away from what we do every day and what we work on, and what our structure looks like, and what we do to win hockey games. There's an equation right now to what we do to win hockey games, and
it's been working,
and it works very well. We're not giving up a whole lot, and we're scoring goals. So you're right, it's working, and stick to the plan. Not to what you think it should look like. Stick to the plan that's actually working. That's what we need to go in there and do.
Okay. Well, we've got the winter. Well, I know by the time this airs, likely the game will be over. But Winter Classic this afternoon. Always a fun game. You've got a pick. You got a favorite? Who's going to win it?
I'm going to pick the Kraken.
Kraken? Okay. That's probably a good pick, especially at home. They've got some pretty cool stuff going on in that building and so on too. All right. Well, hopefully you had a chance to enjoy the New Year's and New Year's Day here, and maybe got some good food and all that kind of stuff. Again, pulled a win, split the weekend, on to the next weekend, and good luck against North Iowa. And as always, thanks for your time, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jay.
All right, folks, second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
City Lights Bar and Event Center is your official home for the Aberdeen Wings. Stop down for an ice-cold beer or drink and choose from one of the many excellent food options on their menu, available for both lunch and dinner. And when your Aberdeen Wings are on the road trying to earn their way back to the Robertson Cup Championship, come on down to City Lights and watch the away games as the audio and video are streamed live. City Lights Bar and Event Center, the official home for the Aberdeen Wings on South 2nd Street, just south of the overpass in Aberdeen.
All right, folks, second portion of Wings Weekly continues on, and as usual, we've got a player joining us, Simon Pollock, joining us now. I was just asking about this and where you call home, because the elite prospects and many of the stat places have you born in Santa Rosa, California, but you've got dual citizenship in that sense because your home is Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so a little tidbit for you there, folks. We always start these shows with questions about how you got started playing hockey and so on. When did you move to Canada? Because I feel like if you grew up there from a young age, you probably didn't have a lot of a choice. You just automatically play the nation's game, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, I moved to Canada when I was like about a week or two old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So pretty much my parents had a job there, and they moved to Victoria right away. So I got to be born there and then get my Canadian citizenship, my American citizenship, and it all worked out. So
excellent. Okay, so at what point did you start playing the game?
Well, I was about 6 years old, which is, people say it's a bit late even. So, but I was with my best friend at the time, and he started playing hockey, and he just got me right into it, and loved it ever since. Yeah.
I wouldn't say 6 is late. I think around here, like 5 is 4 or 5 is I think the very beginning. But I know a lot of guys say that they start skating at 2 and 3 years old.
Not me.
But I've known others and talked to others that one guy was a goaltender who actually went to UND, started playing at 12. So
crazy.
Yeah, I mean
it's a huge range.
There's a big range there for sure. When did you as far as position-wise, did you ever try anything else? Did you ever try goalie or anything like that?
Well, they put every kid through goalie at that age, and I actually liked it, but I'm not gonna make my parents spend money on goalie gear, so I was like gonna be a player for sure. And obviously I like scoring goals more than saving the puck, so
that's great. Like, your parents are like, no, not having it.
Too expensive.
See, I actually know some goalie parents, and they always say it's not only is it obviously expensive, but it's stressful. It's incredibly difficult as a goalie's parent to watch, and you know, when they let a goal in or whatever, that they're a different breed.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. All right, we're keeping rolling here. You played in the BC, you played in the SJ, you played around. You come down here to the North American Hockey League to play for the Aberdeen Wings. Walk us through that journey. How did you come to Aberdeen? How did you become a Wing?
Well, I've been playing in Canada the last 3 junior seasons, and after this past season, Langer reached out and was interested, and obviously I was really interested. I've never really heard about the Null before, so I did my research and found out just it was probably the right decision to go, and it definitely has been, and I've liked it ever since. Yeah.
What were your impressions of Aberdeen as a whole? I know a lot of times when I talk to players that they talk about the way that you guys are embraced by the crowd and by the fans, and that you go to Doba or to whatever restaurant, wherever it might be, Twist Cone, whatever it might be, City Lights, and people just kind of recognize you guys as players. Has that been an interesting experience? Has that been an experience that you've had when you were playing juniors in Canada?
Yeah, it has been. I played in a small town in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, and it was kind of like this. Like, the community was really involved, but definitely more here. The fans are really awesome. So whenever we're out in the town getting lunch, whatever, some people say hi, and it's nice to get to know people, and the crowd's been really good. So no complaints.
And we talk about this a lot, about the family atmosphere the Wings organization needs to have. Like, they want to build that, and that's part of it. A part of it is the community aspect, and doing things like ringing the bell for Salvation Army, or doing floor hockey at the Boys and Girls Club, or going and reading at schools. Have you had any experiences with any of those kinds of things?
Yeah, I mean, I did the floor hockey a couple times. We read at one of the middle schools at Holgate, and it's been super fun. The kids love us, and it's been really fun.
I think it's interesting because, and I may have said this down here before, but it's just like the Shrine Circus has done for years and years and years. They give free tickets out to the kids at school, and the kids go home and go, "Mom and Dad, look, I got a free ticket." And then the mom and dad are like, "Well, I guess we're going to the circus. I'm going to buy you a snow cone, and I'm going to buy you an electric sword. And I'm gonna pay," you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you build a fan base by interacting with these kids, and obviously not from like that kind of a way, but you do build a fan base. That they become fans. They know you. They talk to you. They got pictures with you. That's kind of a big thing for kids.
For sure. Yeah.
Hope you guys realize and recognize how important that part of this actually is, and I know that you do.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to talk some hockey over the weekend here and the weekend coming up. But before I get to some of that, I got some questions for you.
For sure.
New Year's Eve last night. Did you get an opportunity to get any good food or do anything fun?
I was actually working. I was working at 322, so I couldn't really do much. But I went home and hung out with my billets, and they brought me a plate of food from the party they're at, and it was pretty good.
Awesome.
Didn't really do much though.
Okay, now today we got football games going on, all kinds of bowl games. I talked to Coach just a moment ago about the Winter Classic. Do you follow any football teams or anything like that? Probably being from Canada, you don't have any real allegiance to any collegiate teams here in the States, but...
Yeah, well, I don't really follow college football that much, but everyone in here is talking about Michigan playing today, so I'm probably rooting for Michigan for the boys. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now your prediction for the Kraken and the Knights.
I have to say Knights.
Yeah? Well, you're going to go opposite of Smack. You're going to go opposite of Coach?
I'm going to go opposite. Defending Cup champs.
Bold.
I know they're not home, but I think they're going to win tonight.
Interesting. Looking forward to watching that game, actually. I love those outdoor games. That's very cool. All right, so outside of hockey, away from the rink, what do you like to do? Are you an outdoorsman? Are you a gamer? Are you a card player? Like, what are some of your hobbies?
I'm a camper.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like going camping. Back in Victoria, we have a lot of good camping spots. We have a lot of good little islands around, and yeah, it's kind of my hobby.
okay, help me understand this, because I've owned campers, I've had campers.
I don't own a camper.
Oh, you go tenting?
Yeah, I go tenting.
Oh, see, now that I can get down with, because you go and back that thing in, and then you got to like level it.
No, it's a pain. Yeah.
It's like more work than it's worth. Tenting it now.
You just gotta embrace the environment, you know.
That's
embrace the whole camping experience.
That whole hippie thing. You got that going on?
Yeah, I guess a little bit. A little bit.
And there's not a dang thing wrong with that. I'm just teasing a bit. All right. So, what's your go-to music? You're getting ready for a game. You got the earbuds in, or you got some music playing?
Go-to music. A lot of Eminem. A lot of Travis Scott. And honestly, I just pretty much listen to whatever's on the speaker before the game. But yeah.
You're not the one that says, "No, turn that off. I want to hear this. I want to hear that." You don't have.
Sometimes, I was on the speaker when Bacco was away, and now Bacco's back, so now he's taking his spot back. So
he's hobbling around with the aux cord.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So if you had an opportunity to have a meal, your last meal, whatever it might be, you build your own. And people probably get tired of me asking this question, but it's always different for every player. What's your favorite? What's it going to look like? You can have. I want to know what your appetizer is, your entree, your dessert, like your favorite foods of all time. They can lay them out there in front of you. What's it look like?
Well, the appetizer is probably going to be like a poutine. Especially the one from 322, the 605
I
one.
thought it was Putin.
Nope, it's not Putin. It's poutine.
I thought Canadians said Putin.
No.
I've always said poutine, but then I get corrected and they tell me it's Putin.
Nope, it is poutine.
Okay.
That'd be the appetizer, and then I like Mexican food, so I'd probably go with some tacos. Okay. Some burritos.
That's
like that.
Very good choice. Very good.
Yeah.
Not that you can really go wrong with anything, but you know.
For sure.
All right. So you've got North Iowa coming up, and like Coach and I talked about just a little while ago here. You guys played really well on Friday night. There's a lot going on there. You're a guy that I see in the mix all the time. You're in the board battles. You're pushing and shoving. You're getting into it. And one of the things that has been a little bit of an Achilles heel, especially early on, is in this season. It has been. Penalties and being in the box and having to be on the kill. How do you balance that as a player like you, that is a passionate guy that is in there, pushing and shoving and getting into it, yet keep just that right amount of control that you're not, committing those ugly penalties? That's got to be a bit of a challenge.
It's a challenge. Definitely, I feel like I have some experience with obviously playing junior and stuff, but I think it's taking pride in the penalty kill and being really good every night and not.
Right.
But the factor is not being over aggressive taking penalties, because it's been killing us night in, night out, being short for minutes on end. So it's just really being careful, but not.
Saturday felt like we were on the penalty kill the whole night. That was but it's like I said, it's that balance. It's that because I know how passionate it is. And I played the game. I've coached the game. I not to this level, mind you, but I understand that it is. Everybody's got a different way of going about it for sure. But you have to maintain to some degree.
It's just being like level-headed. Yeah. And obviously play with emotion, but you can't let the emotions get the best of you, or you're gonna get penalties.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So you spent a lot of time at the dot.
Yeah.
What makes a centerman a good centerman? What's a key?
Well, obviously the timing. Yeah. But it's just owning the dot. You want to own the dot every night. If things aren't working, switch it up. If things are working, don't change a thing. It's kind of the factors right there.
So what's with the stick twist as you approach the dot?
They're gonna ask me that. It's just a routine, I guess. It's a little hick I do, I guess. A little routine to make sure I'm kind of ready to go.
Superstition?
I guess so. I'm a little superstitious, yeah.
A little? Yeah. All right. Okay, so North Iowa's coming up. Like Coach and I talked about a bit ago, this is a team that, have actually gave the Wings some trouble down in Mason City, and they're dangerous. They may be sitting at the bottom of the division, but they're a quality team in that they skate well and they do a lot of good things. They got good goaltending. What do you feel like as a player? Now, we talked with Coach about what he sees that you guys need to do from a player standpoint. What do you talk about in the locker room? What do you need to do?
Well, it's just not changing a thing. We've been good the past 6 weeks. We've been on a streak, and that's just on Saturday. It was just a bump in the road. Yeah. It's just not changing a thing and just going out there and expecting to win every night, and that comes with the details. But it's the confidence in this room that everyone's feeling right now. It's been really helping us win games right now. I think those are the keys.
Keep that rolling.
Yeah.
How difficult is it as a player to put a game behind you? Coach, I've known him for a while, and he always talks about that you can't focus on it. You got to move on to the next game. As a player, do you walk out of here at the end of that game and go, that one's done, on to the next one? Or do you kind of hang on to man, I wish I'd have done this differently, or I wish so-and-so would have done that differently?
Yeah. Well, personally, I like to think about what I could have done better and what I did well, but
players analyze what they did and didn't do.
Yeah, for sure.
I even know guys that will go back and watch the game and go,
I usually watch my shifts, but as soon as I walk out those doors, I know we need to have a short memory and need to reset. So I think everyone is pretty much the same, but as a hockey player, you kind of just develop a short memory because you need to prepare for every game the same way.
Short memory. Great way to put that, for sure. Well, I know I bounced around a little bit here. Usually I do the hockey stuff and then ask the goofy questions. I really appreciate you, especially on a holiday like this, even though it's not a holiday for you guys. You're out here working your butts off, but I appreciate you taking some time here.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, this weekend, folks, January 5th and 6th at the North Iowa Bulls, 7:10 puck drop both nights. Watch at City Lakes Bar and Event Center on NAHLTV.com, and you can listen on 94.1 The Rock, HubCityRadio.com, or The Rock app, which you can have on your mobile device and listen anywhere in the world. Then the next weekend, January 12th and 13th at the Austin Bruins. A couple road games coming up. Next home games will be January 19th and 20th versus Minot. Sponsorships and reserved season tickets are available for the remainder of the 2023-2024 season. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. And for the latest news and information on the Wings, visit AberdeenWings.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, now called X, I guess, and on Instagram. So there's a lot of ways to find information, folks. You can check that out on the social media sites as far as ticket prices and different promotions and so on. But again, we'll be at in Mason City, Iowa, coming up this weekend, looking to hopefully, kind of like Coach said, start another streak, huh?
For sure.
All right. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And good luck against the Bulls.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Happy New Year, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week.